Hello Year 4, how are you? Welcome to your final math lesson of this week. In today's lesson we're going to continue with subtracting two fractions. So today you have your daily fluency questions. Can you spend no more than 3 minutes answering these please? So underneath your date and title on your piece of paper for today, can you answer the following questions? So pause the video and have a go please. Okay, question number 1. Calculate 2 subtract 3/8. Well, if we know that 1 whole would be 8/8, then 2 wholes would be 16/8, and 16/8 take away 3/8 would be 13/8. And if we were converting this into a mixed fraction, we would see that there is 1 whole and 5/8 in 13/8. Number 2, 2/5 add 6/5 is 8/5, and rounding 4,285 to the nearest 100 would be 4,300. Well done if you got those 3 right. I do have some more questions just to warm your brains up for today's maths lesson. Can you have a go at the following questions, please? Pause the video again and have a go. Okay, how did you get on? So number 1, 7/7 is the same as 1 whole. So 2 wholes would be the same as 14/7. In the next example, 1 would be the same as 5/5, and therefore 10/5 would be the same as 2. Question number 2, 7/5, we can see that there is 1 whole and 2/5 remaining. And question number 3, 2/5 add 2/5 gives us 4/5, and 6/7 take away subtract 2/7 gives us 4/7. And well done if you got those right too. That means your brains are extra warmed up for today's lesson. Now yesterday we looked at subtracting two numbers. Can you have a go using the bar model and the reduction method to see if you can work out 7/8 subtract 5/8? Pause the video here, have a go at doing that now please. How did you get on? Did you notice that because our denominator is 8, our bar needs to be split into 8 different parts? Our starting number would be 7/8, and we can see that we can cross off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. We are left with 2/8. Now when we are finding equivalent fractions, we can see, can both of these numbers be divided equally by 2? Yes, they can. How many 2's are there in the number 2? There is 1. And how many 2's are there in the number 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2/8, the equivalent fraction would be 1/4. Because if we do the same to the numerator and we do the same to the denominator, we will get an equivalent fraction. Super job. Now, this example here, 11/8 subtract 5/8, is a little bit different and you'll see why. So I've got my bar and I've split it into 8s. This time my starting number is 11/8. Now here I have made 8/8, but I need another bar to make 11/8. And I can see here that I have now made 11/8. If I'm going to subtract 5/8, I can cross them off as I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can count how many I'm left with, and that is 6/8. Can you see what my equivalent fraction would be? If I divide the top number and the bottom number by the same number, can you find an equivalent fraction for 6/8 please? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, did you work out that both of these numbers are even numbers, so they can both be divided by 2? 6 divided by 2, how many 2's are there in 6? 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3. And how many 2's are there in 8? We worked out there were 4. So 6/8 is equivalent to 3/4. Fantastic job. How about this one then? Can you have a go at working out 13/7, subtract 6/7, and then can you find an equivalent fraction? Pause the video and have a go please using the bar model. Off you go. How did you get on? Let's have a go at making 13/7. What does my bar need to be split into? Does it need to be split into 13ths? No, it doesn't. It needs to be split into sevenths. And I can see here that I can fill up 1 whole, but that's only the same as how many sevenths? 7 sevenths. I need to use another bar to make 13 sevenths. I've almost filled up another whole, but not quite. And then I can start to cross off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sevenths. How many sevenths am I left with? Ah, that's right, I'm left with 7 sevenths. Can I find an equivalent fraction? I can find that it's got 1 whole. So 7 sevenths is equivalent to 1, but we don't need a fraction. Well done if you didn't let that one trick you. Can you have a go at questions 1 to 3 on the worksheet, please? Pause the video here and have a go now, please. Off you go. Okay, we're going to look at something a bit different now. Here you can see that I've got a mixed fraction. Can you spot my mixed fraction? That's right, it's 1 2/5. Subtract 4/5. Now, you might be thinking, Miss Newman, how do I work this out? There are 2 ways we can work this out, and I'm going to show you both ways, and then it will be your turn. So my first method is to show 1 2/5 using my bar model. So I can see here that I've got 1 because I've got 5/5, and then I've got 2/5. And because I'm subtracting 4/5, I can start by subtracting 2/5. And I know that 1 2/5 subtract 2/5 has left me with 1 whole. Now I've still got to subtract 2/5 because I've already subtracted 2/5, but I've got to subtract 4/5. So my other part of that would be 2/5. And then I can see that my 1 whole subtract 2/5 is the same as 5/5 subtract 2/5. And I can see on my model that I am left with 3/5. So 1 2/5 take away 4/5 gives me 3/5. In the same way, we are answering the same question, but we're going to use a different method. This time we're going to take the top bar and just subtract my 4/5 from 1 straight away. And that has left me with how many fifths on my top bar? That's right, 1/5. And then I can see that my 1/5 from my first bar add my 2/5 from my second bar gives me 3/5, which is the answer to the question. Now it's your turn using method A and method B. Can you work the answer out to 2 2/7 subtract 6/7? Pause the video and have a go, please. Off you go. Okay, was that a bit tricky? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I'm going to work through it with you. So method A, if you remember, the first thing we do is we get rid of the first bar, the empty bar. So I can see that I have got 2 wholes and 2/7, which is where I get this number from here. I am subtracting 6/7. So the first thing I can do is to subtract the 2/7 here. So I have subtracted the 2/7 from the 2 2/7, giving me just 2 wholes left. I do not have this whole anymore. But how many more sevenths do I have to take away if I've already taken away 2/7? That's right, I need to take away 4 more sevenths. Can you see that? I've partitioned this number into 2/7 and 4/7. So then I can take away 4/7 from 1 whole, which is the same as 7/7 subtract 4/7. How many sevenths do we have left on this whole, on this bar? 3/7. Well done. And then I can see that I have got 1 whole add 3/7, giving me 1 whole and 3/7. Now, method B, we know we go straight into the top bar, subtracting 6/7 from 1. But what is 1 the same as in this circumstance? That's right, it's the same as 7/7. So 7/7 subtract 6/7 gives me how many sevenths? 1/7. Fantastic. So we have now already subtracted the 6/7. So what do we need to do now? That's right, we need to add your whole and your parts. So we have got 1 whole and 2/7 add 1/7. And we can see we've got 1 and 3/7 all together. So 2 and 2/7 subtract 6/7 is the same as 1 and 3/7. Can you have a go at the rest of the questions on the worksheet, please? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, we have got some reasoning and problem solving questions, and then that will conclude today's math lesson. So Anika's ribbon measures 8/6 meters. Simon's ribbon measures 4/6 less than Anika's. Anika says Simon's ribbon is 3/6 of a meter. Is she correct? Explain your answer. So if Simon's ribbon is 4/6 less than Anika's ribbon, what is my calculation going to be? That's right, it's going to be 8/6 subtract 4/6. What is 8/6 subtract 4/6? Yes, it's 4/6. So Anissa says Simon's ribbon is 3/6 of a meter. Is she correct? No, Anika is incorrect. Why? What does Simon's ribbon actually measure? That's right, Simon's ribbon measures 4/6 because 8/6 subtract 4/6 gives me 4/6. Well done. Okay, another problem solving question then is to use the digit cards to complete the calculation. Now, unlike other calculations we've had where we've had digit cards, we can actually use these cards more than once. Now, I need some help here because I know my denominators have to be the same. I think I'm going to start with the largest number as my denominator. So if I had 16/10, subtract something tenths, I would have to get something tenths. So could I do 16/10 subtract 6/10? What is that? 16/10 subtract 6/10. Absolutely, that is 10/10. And I can use 10/10 because I've got that there. Could I do 16/10 subtract 8/10? Yes, I could, because 16/10 subtract 8/10 would be 8/10. Could I do 16/10 subtract 10/10? I could, because 16/10 subtract 10/10 equals 6/10. Could I do 16/10 subtract 4/10? No, I couldn't, because 16/10 subtract 4/10 is 12/10, and that would not be right. So you could have various answers, but we could have 16/10 subtract 8/10 gives us 8/10. So that's just one example, and well done if you got that. Now, but last question now, are these calculations the same? Now, ignore these shapes. I think they're very confusing and we haven't done a lot of work on them. What we are going to do is we're going to use our knowledge of how to subtract fractions to prove our answer. Now, what is 14/8 subtract 7/8? Can you pause the video and work that out either in your head or using the bar model, please? Off you go. Okay, did you work out that 14/8 subtract 7/8 is 7/8? Well done if you did. Now, to work out if these calculations are the same, we need to work out the answer to this question. 14/8 subtract 5/8 subtract 3/8. Can you work that out? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's take this one step at a time. 14/8 subtract 5/8. What's that? That's right, 9/8. And what is 9/8 subtract 3/8? 6/8. So this answer is 7/8 and this answer is 6/8. Are they the same? They are not the same. Again, ignore the shapes, they're a bit confusing. Why are they not the same? Well, we've already worked it out. 14/8 take away 7/8 gives us 7/8, but our second calculation gives us an answer of 6/8. So they are definitely not the same. Thank you for helping me work that out. Same as yesterday, you are either completing the 3 blue questions or the 3 orange questions. The orange ones, as always, are slightly trickier, so if you feel confident, do those ones. If you don't, do the blue ones. Make sure, as always, that you leave enough room to explain your answer or go on to another page. Really excited to see your wonderful learning. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye, Year 4.